Later, Morrow never dreamed at 92 years young he'd be sitting here at Career Source Palm Beach County in the queue looking for work.
I gotta work, gotta pay my real estate taxes and homeowners insurance.
Property tax defaults are exploding, with the National Tax Lien Association anticipating a biblical explosion of defaults not seen since the global financial crisis. Now, you guys, the biggest problem with tax lien foreclosures is it disproportionately impacts senior citizens, many of which who do not have an existing mortgage, but the problem is they are on a fixed income with an inability to absorb any additional increases in the cost of living. Meanwhile, you have these so-called investors circling these seniors like a pack of wolves looking to seize their properties. And here's the crazy thing, even though many of these senior citizens still have an abundance of equity. Now, you guys, that's going to be our first segment. On our last segment, I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to complete a new simplified criminal complaint. I'm going to go step by step, and I'm going to show you guys how easy it can be to be a patriot now that the groundwork has been laid. Now, my goal is to have that complaint completed and research done in 10 minutes, meaning you as the viewer, if this type of predatory investing bothers you and you're sick and tired of the overwhelming fraud and ISD bond debt, then you can complete this yourself in less than 30 minutes. You guys, America needs your help, and we need it now. And I'm going to warn you guys that unless we keep coming together and we stay together, we will lose everything. The time for action is now. And having said that, welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. This video is going to be absolutely bonkers. You guys already know that.
Hi friends, welcome back to the Share Report. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And for those who are returning, thank you so much for your faithfulness, for your support, and for being here. Please share this channel with others, get others involved. I say this consistently. This channel is definitely about being active citizens, not sitting on our hands, waiting for someone to come rescue us, someone in the presidency, some governor, somebody somewhere to come rescue us. It is up to us to take control of our destiny and do something about it, especially if we want a particular outcome or things to happen on our behalf that is good. So with that being said, let's dive right into this video. So I talk about property taxes quite a bit. And one of my viral videos that just went crazy over the internet, and a lot of sharing of it, and people were just very interested in it, was actually about property taxes. And that's how a lot of you found my channel, was about property taxes. So in the state of Florida, I had mentioned this probably last year, that the state of Florida was doing a study about potentially eliminating property taxes. Governor DeSantis has been on a roll lately talking about the elimination of property taxes, property tax breaks, all the things. However, there has been a little bit of pushback from higher up. A lot of people probably in the teachers union, some other politicians, and different avenues of pushback that he has been receiving. So it was very interesting because there's a lot of states right now that are currently pushing for the elimination of property taxes. Kentucky has been looking into it. North Dakota, I've talked to you about Rick Becker. I had shown some of his clips on my channel before. I have had on the guest Carla Wagner of Michigan. She founded Axma Tax, her state. And then also we know Texas, and there's also a YouTube channel that I follow called Real Estate Mindset, where they talk consistently about elimination of property taxes. There's a special guest that comes on Real Estate Mindset. His name is Mitch Vexler. Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly. He is an accountant and he knows a lot about tax things, and he's currently suing for the elimination of property taxes and showing how things have been fraudulent, how it has been fraud. It's one thing to tax people, but to be fraudulent and taxing. And I'm going to show you some video clips here, and it talks about the 16th Amendment. They're going to dive deeper into it. And then also I'm going to show where they're going to dive deeper into the lawsuit in the state of Texas, where they are suing this court system and showing different judges who are behind this fraudulent taxation whole thing with property. So I thought it was very interesting because I think a lot of people are waking up now and seeing how we have been lied to, how we have been stolen, things have been stolen from us, and people are seeing that they're forced to. Before it was like, okay, you know, I'm able to make ends meet, but now people are being poked like little voodoo dolls. They're being poked with, you know, inflation. Oh no, I'm getting poked this way, or you know, now it's property taxes, insurance, and they're just getting poked and poked all different ways. So people are like, you know what, I'm tired of being poked. This is hurt. This is not good. This is not good for my family. So they're waking up. So sometimes when people wake up, it's a little too late. I'm hoping in this instance it's not, because it looks like a lot of states are saying, you know what, this is insane. You're charging me an insane amount of money for property taxes. Where's this money going? Where is this money going? Every year it goes up, especially in the state of Florida. It's going up and up and up and up. And some people who have been living in their houses for 50 years, there's this poor gentleman. I'll show you a clip of that because we're going to continue this elimination of property tax video series for until property taxes are eliminated. I want you guys to see the thievery, the horribleness, the fraudulent behavior, the expose those who are against eliminating property taxes. It's going to be on the forefront of our mind until it happens. So this poor elderly gentleman, he was 92 years old. Korean veteran, Korean War veteran. My granddaddy, if he was still living, he would be 95 years old this year. He was in the Korean War. So someone in their 90s having to go back to work in order to pay their property taxes in their home. They've been living in their home for 50, 60 years and it's paid off. There's no more mortgage. And he has to go back to work at 92 years old. Think about that, friends. Think about that. So this is what I'm talking about. It's insane. That elderly man doesn't have any plans on selling his home when he's 92 years old. He's going to stay there until his last day or when he can't stay there anymore. So he doesn't have any plans of, you know, selling his home. So basically they're raising the they're raising the property taxes for potentially when you go to sell your property. What if you plan on staying there and passing it on to your children and your grandchildren? You don't have any plans on selling it, but they are charging us an insane amount of money. And people do not realize you're renting your property back from the government. You don't own it. So I'm going to play a clip for you. This is worth seeing. You need to see it. It is imperative, friends, that we get behind the elimination of property taxes. Don't sit on your hands. Don't be lazy. I've been speaking about this consistently. If you want something, you have to make it happen. I've called my local representative and I said, hey, get behind Ron DeSantis. Let's eliminate property taxes. Let's do this. You need to look out for the people who voted you in. You are a public servant. If not, maybe we need to confiscate your property to see how it feels. And another thing about this, these elected officials, public servants who are against Governor DeSantis or any government official who's wanting to eliminate property taxes, they have to see that this benefits them as well. Nobody is beyond the law. Nobody is unreplaceable. Everybody can be replaced. These judges, they can be dethroned. They can be dethroned off the bench of judgment. They could lose their job and then can't pay their mortgage, or maybe they do have their mortgage paid off. If they don't pay their property taxes, they could as very well lose their homes as well. So I don't think people realize when they're pushing something that they don't realize that something very well could happen to them. Things can change in an instant. You have no idea. Nobody is unreplaceable, irreplaceable. Nobody is beyond the law. Nobody is the king and queen. Nothing could ever happen to them. Things happen consistently. We don't want them to happen, but they do happen. So that is just one thing that I wanted to point out. I'm going to play this video because it is worth seeing. I'm going to have a few more videos coming up about the elimination of property taxes. Governor DeSantis was over in Jacksonville and he gave a great speech. So I'll probably play that in a different video. But first things first, I wanted you to see this one, and we're going to play it and then we will reconvene.
The economy continues its magnificent nosedive into oblivion. slowed down only by the government's theft of our balance sheets, which is obviously, of course, you guys, money printing and inflation. Now, each taxpayer is on the hook for $1.2 million in federal debt. But when we service that debt and put it into amortization schedule, that costs us each $2.4 million. Now, Mitch and I continue to try to stop mom and pop and their balance sheets from getting robbed by these thieves. But we are up against a system that is designed to reward tyrants and smash down patriots. Now, we have a ruling back on Mitch's lawsuit. And once I read just one paragraph of this bigotry, your heads are going to spin and your hearts are going to sink into despair. That's what happened to me anyways. Now, I've always looked at judges as the people who are supposed to be the best of us. Fair, honest, and forthcoming. Alas, as you guys know, I am naive and we have tyrants on our bench. Now, on top of these updates, we're also going to end this video with a mind map on how all of this is one big giant Ponzi scheme, which mirrors RICO or racketeering law violations exactly. And we're going to talk about how crypto, you guys, crypto is just going to be debased like the dollar if we don't get these frauds out of our pocketbooks. And welcome back. Mitch Wexler, how are you?
Well, it's been an interesting couple of days. We're going to get by the best we can. We are apparently headed to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Yeah, and we need the viewers' help. And this is where I'm going to start this video by looking at the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The 16th Amendment forbids them from taxing our property. The Congress shall have power to collect taxes on incomes. Our houses are our houses. It's not our incomes. Just to make this absolutely crystal clear on how we're being frauded and the absolute failure of the justices to rule accurately on the law, look at this house. This is an active house. This is over market value because they cannot sell this house in one of the busiest times a year for $217,000. Now, this house has been on the market for 60 days, but look at how much they're being taxed on. They're not being taxed on $217,000. They're being taxed on $276,000. And I really want you guys to appreciate this bigotry. Look at this. In 2023, they assessed their house for even more at $286,000. They had a 27% increase in assessment value. They gave them a discount in 2024, and they're still overvalued by $60,000. To the municipalities, great job pushing people out of their houses because they can no longer afford your fraud. Now, let's go into your lawsuit. So I'm going to pull up Mitch's lawsuit and I'm going to calm down. I want you guys to tell me after I read this to you whether or not these judges, clowns, whatever you want to call them, are tyrants. You decide for yourself. Look at this. We're not playing around and we're not going to stop, okay? Here's the Court of Appeals, 2nd District of Texas of Fort Worth, and we have a ruling. And they basically said that all of us are a bunch of fools and we can do nothing in turn to hold people accountable. Listen to this, guys, okay? This is the applicable law that they're quoting, okay? Generally, a citizen lacks standing to bring a lawsuit challenging the lawfulness of government acts. Okay? This concept reflects the rule that neither citizen nor taxpayer can appear in court simply to insist that the government and officials adhere to the requirements of law. Here's the 3 geniuses that ruled this way. The first one is the Justice Mike Wallace, but to me, he's a tyrant. That's just my opinion. He's a part of a Mason group. He's part of the Lions International Club. And I would ask him, why don't you go ask your buddies at your little Lions Club whether or not they're drowning in tax debt because you seem not to be able to add 1 + 1, sir. The other one is this cheerful little lady right here who looks like she is wealthy beyond measure and super happy and doesn't understand what we're going through. Justice Elizabeth Kerr. The third bozo, the clown, is right here. Justice Brian Walker. And here's a picture of a bunch of clowns. Let me know whether or not you guys can see the differences. Before moving on to Mitch, I'm going to read.
Okay, friends. So as you can see, everything that they spoke about, I mean, it is purely amazing the things that are happening to us right now. And people are just sitting idly by and then just letting it happen to them because, I guess they can still eat. So they're like, well, I'm not starving yet. I still have a roof over my head. Maybe I'll get a second job. Maybe I'll get a third job. And they're just not realizing that we shouldn't have to live like this. All the money that Washington, D.C. is spending on war, every single American should be living like kings and queens. And I'm going to preach this until I can't say it anymore. I'm going to say this until I can't say it anymore, until property tax elimination, eliminating of property taxes, until it happens. So I wanted to play that for you all to make you guys think. Please share this video, get others involved, do something about it. Are you guys going to do something about it? Leave a comment. Let me know if you have already started doing your research. Let me know if you've already started contacting and kindly letting our representative know, hey, we need to eliminate property taxes. What is going on? You know, so let me know in the comments, share this video with others, subscribe. Like I say always, get on board, be an active citizen, and thank you so much for your support. I'll see y'all in the next video.